Shadows of forgotten vows. The relentless downpour hammered against the windshield of Detective Elias Crowe's aging Ford, turning the neon signs of Eldridge City into smeared blurs of red and blue. The city was a labyrinth of forgotten dreams and buried nightmares, its alleyways echoing with the ghosts of unsolved crimes. Elias, at 45, bore the weight of those ghosts in the deep lines etched around his steel-gray eyes and the perpetual stubble shadowing his jaw. His hands, calloused from years of gripping cold case files and warmer triggers, steadied the wheel as the radio sputtered to life. Dispatch to all units. Homicide reported at 47 Willow Lane. Female victim. Apparent ritualistic elements. Proceed with caution. Elias's pulse quickened, a familiar adrenaline surge cutting to the fog of his exhaustion. He arrived at the scene amid a circus of flashing lights and yellow tape fluttering like wounded birds in the wind. The house loomed, a dilapidated Victorian with gabled roofs piercing the stormy sky, its facade cracked and weeping from years of neglect. Pushing to the creaking door, the stench hit him first. Coppery blood mingled with the faint, acrid scent of incense. In the center of the living room, on a threadbare Persian rug soaked crimson, lay Amelia Voss. She was 34. Her once vibrant auburn hair fanned out like a halo of fire extinguished. Her throat had been sliced with surgical precision, a clean arc from ear to ear, exposing the raw machinery beneath. But it was her hands that chilled Elias to his core. Palms upturned, intricate runes carved deeply into flesh, the wounds filled with clotted blood that formed grotesque patterns. Symbols of circles intersected with thorns, evoking ancient wards against unseen evils. Jesus, murmured Officer Lena Hart, Elias's partner of 2 years. At 28, she was a stark contrast to his weariness. Sharp features framed by a no-nonsense bob cut, her green eyes scanning the room with predatory focus. This isn't your garden variety slashing. Those marks look like something from a grimoire. Elias nodded, slipping on latex gloves with a snap that echoed in the silent house. He knelt beside the body, his knees protesting against the hard floor. The runes were precise, not the work of a frenzied killer, but someone with knowledge, perhaps even reverence. Amelia was a historian, he said, recalling the briefing. Occult specialties. Neighbors reported hearing rhythmic chanting around 10 p.m., followed by a single, piercing scream that cut off abruptly. Lena photographed the scene, her camera flashes casting eerie shadows on the walls adorned with antique maps and esoteric bookshelves. No forced entry. She knew her killer. As Elias rifled through Amelia's cluttered desk, his fingers brushed a framed photograph half buried under papers. Pulling it out, he froze. Amelia beamed an image, arm linked to the man whose face was a mirror to his own memories, tall, dark-haired, with the same crooked smile as his brother Marcus. Marcus, who had vanished 15 years ago during a solo hike in Eldridge Woods. His body never recovered. The resemblance was uncanny, stirring a storm in Elias's chest. He slipped the photo into his coat pocket, glancing at Lena to ensure she hadn't noticed. "Let's wrap this up," he said gruffly. "I need air." That night, in his sparse apartment overlooking the rumbling train tracks, Elias poured a generous measure of cheap whiskey, the amber liquid burning a path down his throat. The room was a testament to his solitude. Stacks of yellowed files, a single bed rumpled from restless sleep, and walls pinned with timelines of unresolved cases. He spread Marcus's file across the table. Photos of the search parties, witness statements mentioning Marcus's growing obsession with local legends of the Vale, a supposed dimensional rift hidden in the woods. Coincidence, Elias whispered to himself, but doubt gnawed at him like a persistent rat. 2 days later, the pattern emerged. Dr. Harlan Reed, a renowned psychiatrist in his 50s, was discovered in his upscale office downtown. The scene mirrored Amelia's, throat slit, runes etched into palms. Elias arrived as dawn broke, the city awakening to another horror. Reed's body slumped over his mahogany desk, blood pooling in the grooves of patient notes. The air hung heavy with the scent of leather-bound books and faint cologne, now undercut by desk perfume. "Same MO," Lena confirmed, her voice steady but eyes betraying unease. Runes identical. Reed treated high-profile clients, including historians like Voss. Elias examined Reed's calendar. Entries for consultations on trauma from paranormal experiences. One name jumped out. Thorne. Victor Thorne, Marcus's old associate, a self-proclaimed medium who'd been run out of town after scamming grieving families. Thorne, Elias muttered. He's a link. Intensifying the hunt, Elias and Lena canvassed Reed's staff. The secretary, a mousy woman named Clara, fidgeted in the interrogation room, her fingers twisting a tissue. Dr. Reed was paranoid the last week, she confided, voice barely above a whisper. Kept muttering about someone from the shadows returning. He mentioned Thorne, said he was dangerous, involved in something unholy. That evening, Elias staked out Thorne's last known address, a rundown motel on the city's fringes where hookers and drifters mingled under flickering neon. Rain pelted the roof of his car as he waited, coffee growing cold in his cup. Hours ticked by, tension coiling in his muscles. Finally, a figure emerged from room 13, hooded against the storm. Elias tailed him, heart racing as the pursuit led through twisting back streets slick with puddles reflecting distorted streetlights. The figure slipped into Eldridge Woods, the dense forest swallowing him like a hungry maw. Elias followed on foot, boots sinking into mud, branches whipping his face, drawing beads of blood. The air grew thicker, charged with an unnatural chill. His flashlight beam danced over gnarled trees, their bark twisted into faces, seeming to scream silently. "Police! Stop!" he shouted, voice muffled by the canopy. Cornering the figure against a massive oak, its trunk scarred with fresh runes, Elias drew his service pistol, finger hovering on the trigger. Hands up. The hood fell back, revealing Lena's pale face, eyes wide with shock and something darker, resignation. "Elias, how did you find me?" Betrayal slammed into him harder than any bullet. "You? God damn it, Lena, explain." She raised her hand slowly, rain matting her hair. "It's complicated. Amelia and Reed, they were loose ends. They knew about the ritual, the one that changed everything." "What ritual?" Elias growled, gun unwavering, though his voice cracked. "The veil," Lena said, her words tumbling out in a rush. "Your brother Marcus didn't die in those woods. He performed a forbidden rite with Thorne. It opened a gateway, granted him power beyond death, but trapped him in limbo. To pull him back, blood ties are needed, sacrifices of those connected to him. Elias's mind fractured. Marcus alive? And you knew?" Lena's tears mixed with rain. "I met him before I joined the force. We were lovers. When he contacted me from wherever he is, I couldn't refuse. Thorne to the killings, but I provided the intel. A rustle from the underbrush. Elias spun, but too late. A shadowy form lunged, Thorne wild-eyed, knife glinting. The struggle was brutal. Thorne's blade sliced Elias's arm, hot blood spilling. Elias fired, the shot grazing Thorne's shoulder, sending him sprawling, gasping. Elias turned back to Lena, who knelt by the oak, chanting in a language that twisted the air. The runes glowed, a vortex swirling open, a tear in reality, edges shimmering with otherworldly light. Winds howled, uprooting leaves and pulling at Elias's clothes. "What have you done?" he screamed. From the portal stepped Marcus, emaciated, skin translucent, veins pulsing with faint luminescence. His eyes, once warm, now burned with infernal hunger. "Elias," he croaked, voice echoing from depths unknown. "My brother. I've crossed hells to return." The truth unraveled in agonizing detail. Marcus confessed, desperate for escape from a mundane life. He delved into forbidden tones with Thorne. The ritual demanded blood vows, binding souls. It worked, granting visions of infinite realms, but the price was exile. To anchor back, he needed the lives of his past anchors. Amelia, his secret affair. Reed, who counseled his madness. Lena, his hidden love. And Elias, the bloodkin. "You monster," Elias whispered, horror mingling with grief. Marcus reached out, hand cold as death. "Join me. We can rule eternities." Lena, loyal to the end, stepped toward the portal. "It's the only way." Chaos erupted. Thorne, wounded but rabid, charged again. Elias fired, hitting center mass, but Thorne's momentum carried him into Lena, knife plunging into her chest. She gasped, blood bubbling, collapsing into Elias's arms. "Forgive me." The portal destabilized, sucking inward with ferocious force. Marcus clawed at the edges, screaming as ethereal tendrils dragged him back. Elias, holding Lena's limp body, felt the pull irresistible, like gravity's cruel embrace. He fought, fingers digging into soil, but the veil hungered. In his final seconds, visions assaulted him. Childhood games with Marcus under sunny skies, their parents' funeral where bonds fractured, Marcus's descent into occult mania, Elias's vow to find him, all leading to this tragic convergence. The portal sealed with a deafening boom, leaving the woods empty. No bodies, no evidence. Eldridge City whispered of vanishings, but the truth remained buried in shadows. Weeks later, a new detective pondered the cold file, unaware the cycle might begin anew. For in the veil, echoes lingered, tragic, eternal. As the final echoes of the wind died in Eldridge Woods and the last crimson stain soaked into the earth, the veil sealed itself once more, silent, patient, waiting for the next desperate soul to whisper its name. Detective Elias Crowe, his brother Marcus, and Officer Lena Hart were never found. No bodies, no graves. Only rumors that sometimes, on nights when the fog rolls thick and the city lights flicker like dying stars, you can hear three voices, two pleading, one laughing, carried on the damp air. Some say the ritual never truly ended. Some say the price is still being paid. Thank you for walking these shadowed streets with me tonight. If this story chilled you, haunted you, or simply refused to let you sleep, then hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next ascent into darkness. Like this video if you want more tales that crawl under your skin. And drop a comment. Which character's fate hurt you the most? Elias? Lena? Or did Marcus deserve every second of his eternity? See you in the next nightmare. Stay curious. Stay scared. And above all, stay subscribed. Good night.